Welcome back to 3Gs in the garage. Today we are going to be
assembling the lower end of our 383. We're going to get the crankshaft and the pistons in, some bearings, and that's probably it until my cam comes in. For some reason it's taking a month to get here. So let's get started. Alright, what we got here are some Race Tech pistons and rods. We got our rings already installed. Machine shop took care of all that, got it all pressed onto the new rods for us. We got our main bearings back here. It's a 2-bolt main, it's a 90, but it should work for what we're doing. We got our Clevite main bearings, upper and lower main bearings. We got Clevite piston rod bearings, and then we've got our ARP main bolt fasteners and a oil ring compressor so we can slide the pistons in. Not the fanciest, but it works. Got a little WD-40 for our lubricant. And first we're gonna put some bearings in and we'll get the crank set in place, and then we'll check our tolerances real quick. All right, here's our main journal bearings, and they've got these little tabs right here. You can see them? Mm-hmm. Barely. And they just sit right in here. Press them in, make sure it's flush with the block. And just go right down the line. Oops. And make sure we grab the right buffer. And we already wiped out our journals. Make sure we don't have any gunk in there. And take our handy dandy oil dropper. Put a little bit. We're making sure we use gloves too, because we don't want any fingerprints in our bearings. Because I've heard you can leave fingerprints even after the motor's been ran. So we'll use gloves and put some engine oil on there. And we have our other G over here doing some cleaning for us. Getting everything cleaned up so we can paint it. Alright, here we got our scat crank. The machinist took care of all the balancing. Got it all machined for me. So we should be all good to go to put that in there. We'll just set it in there and see what happens. Uh-oh. There we go. So of course with a stroker crank we have to you also have to machine out sections of the block to make room for the longer stroke of the crank. As it swings, the piston rods are going to swing out farther, and they'll contact areas down in here. You can kind of see where it was machined out. Oops. Right in there, over here, just to make room for the crank and the piston rods to swing around in there, because it'd be a bad day if it got a hold of one of the cylinder walls. So, okay, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get, we've got our crank in, our scat crank. We're going to check the oil tolerances. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna double check just to be safe, but we're gonna use this plastic gauge here. We're gonna do one for each bearing. Alright, now that we got our crank in, we check the tolerances on it. So now we're going to do our final torque. The ARP, they recommend putting their assembly lube on the bolts. And we'll put a little there around the head of the bolt so it doesn't stick. All these washers, they've got a taper to them. I'm not sure if you can see that. They're tapered on the inside. Those have got to be up towards the head of the bolt. And phone rings. Hi. Good morning. I did. I don't care. Okay, thank you. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye. 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 I'm working on the motor you're supposed to be here helping me with. Sorry. You're all goofing around. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, that was G2 out of a friend's house. Rather be with their friends than with their dad. Okay. This, like I said before, we're going to do it in 3 different stages. We'll start at 55 foot-pounds. We'll start in the center and work our way out. And we'll go up to 65. Then we'll go up to 70. For our final There. Feel like butter. Oh, we had to change batteries. Now, we gotta check the clearance on that one too. With the plastic gauge again. Get those nuts down here. Sweating so bad in here. These gotta be torqued to 50 foot-pounds. Let's do a 45.
That's squishing the green thing.
So you know,
Whatever.
yeah, clearance for the oil.
Hello.
What was it?
Maddie. What do you need?
Can you just get Daddy for me?
I'm surprised you didn't ask Mom before.
We'll go to 50 foot-pounds. Nice and all. Well, try it on the first couple, and I'm sure it'll be fine after that.
And you have to do 8. There's 8 on.
Yes, it's the V8.
Wait, really? That's why?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't know that. So there's only 6 in a V6?
Yep. Like the Jeep only had 6.
Oh.
That's got 8. That's got 8.
Oh. What about the car up there?
Yeah, that's 8. Boy, you got me distracted. That car over there's got 8. Everything I've got has 8. No, without the Jeep.
What mine is?
Mine's a 6. That's the same motor as the Jeep had.
No.
Yeah, switch it. Take this.
Yeah. What did you do? What did you do?
And take this. Go. Right side.
Oh, see how wide it is?
Yeah. So it should be somewhere in between there. I think it would.
Mm-hmm.
So that will take this. Hold that. Squirts under there.
What
Like
goes in
this.
those holes?
That's where the oil comes out. Pushes it through.
Mm.
There's holes underneath these that it pushes it out of the block into here, and then that pushes it through the rest of it. And you gotta make sure you got the right sides lined up over here. There's numbers here and there's numbers here.
Oh.
And then the pistons go in certain ways. So I'll show you, turn it over and I'll show you that. There, if you go over there, you can see it in there. These are called valve reliefs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they need to be on the inside,
Mm-hmm.
because if they were over here and it was running, when the valves and the head open,
Mm-hmm.
they would hit the piston. All right, I had to do another battery change. and a memory card change. And we ran into a little bit of a concern with that last piston we put in there. It's gonna be hard to see, but right there. That, I don't know if that's too close of a call there. It's hard to see. To me, it looks like it's too close to the block. It's hard to get a glare behind it. So we're gonna, I don't know, plug along with the other two, I guess, and we'll see where those are at, just in case those are close too. All kinds of room.
Okay.
Pretty close there, but
Just that tininess.
yeah.
Just in the right spot. How hard is it to move it?
Pretty good. Pretty close there too.
Yeah. At that.
Not bad. Not as bad as the other.
Like you just need those two to be scooched.
Hey, all right. So, I spoke to some people and just figured out I might as well just do it myself. So, hopefully we'll be okay. I definitely got the clearances straightened out on those two cylinders for the rod bolt. I can kind of show you here what we did. I just filed it down a little bit more. And let's see here if we can see right here. It's kind of hard to tell, but that should be plenty of room for us now. And then we got over here, I did this one just a smidge too. Kind of hard to tell, but I opened it up just a little bit more. So, should be good. Everything turns good. Nothing binds up, nothing catches. So I'm hoping we should be all good to go. It looks so good. But yep, that looks pretty good. We're gonna keep plugging away on it. And I think I'm gonna get my heads put on. I don't have the cam yet. like I said, I was still waiting for Edelbrock to ship that out on the 10th, I believe. So keep plugging away with what I can. I got some other parts I'm going to paint. Oil pan to paint, a timing cover, just finishing that up. The fuel pump block off, since it wasn't ever mechanical, so we'll put that back on there. And we'll just keep plugging away. We'll get the heads put on, and then, like I said, my cam's coming with the lifters, the Valley Spider for the hydraulic rollers that sits in here. For some reason, there must have been a gap in the years where they just started to put roller cams in these engines, and this one didn't have one in it, but it's already got the provisions and everything's in there. So I'm just going to use the factory one instead of messing with the other hydraulic lifters that are connected with the bar. So we'll just try this, see what happens, and hopefully it'll work out all right if I ever get it. So hopefully they'll get that to me soon. I sent a couple emails to them, and they still tell me that the 10th is the ship date. So hopefully the next couple weeks we'll have her buttoned up, and then we'll finish working on my stand. It's a training and transfer case. I still got to pull them apart and clean them up. But I'm going to get my start stand here finished up, and then we'll get it on there and be able to fire her up. And then make some noise, I guess. But we'll see you later. Well, in the next video, I might take a little snippet once the heads are on there, just so you can see what those look like. But then after that, it's gonna be onto the top end, and we'll just, once I get the cam, we'll make that video. Might do some stuff on the start stand, plus there's a few things on the Blazer. I want to go over some little rust repair things and a couple little spots. Like I said before, there's nothing huge on it. It's just the typical K5 spots where dirt sits and just holds moisture. So we'll get that work done, and we'll get some paint, some undercoat on it. Then we're gonna have to strip some of the interior out because I'm gonna get a roll bar from DIY 4x, and then we'll get that put in, mocked up, pull it out, paint it, and hopefully get the truck painted this spring. Well, just as it starts to warm up. So stay tuned. All right, last time we left off, we were doing our rotating assembly on our 383. So we got all that done. The rods, pistons, caps, everything's all in, torqued down. We took a little break because I didn't have the oil pump yet, but we just got that put on. We put a little tack on it so that holds, hopefully it doesn't spin in there. And we got our rear main seal put on once I found the bolts for it. So the whole bottom end is pretty well buttoned up, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna do the top end.
Right, just a second.
And we'll get that video going. And what do you gotta say? Any words? Well, thanks for watching, I guess. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That's supposed to be Maddie's line.
And she said she didn't want to say anything.
And make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when we post new videos.
Bye. Thanks for watching.